Amari Cooper's shocking return to the Dallas Cowboys is sending ripples across the entire NFL, especially within the NFC East, and fans of America's team are absolutely buzzing with excitement. After several seasons away from the franchise that once handed him the keys to the WR1 role, Cooper is reportedly back in Big D, signing a blockbuster 4-year deal that signifies not just a homecoming, but a bold statement by the Cowboys organization. This move, unexpected to many, has layers of meaning, not just for the team and the player, but for the direction of the franchise heading into a crucial stretch of seasons. For Cooper, this isn't just another deal. It's a chance to re-establish his legacy with a team and a fan base that once viewed him as one of the premier receivers in the NFL. And for the Cowboys, this deal isn't just about nostalgia. It's about filling a very real need in a receiver room that's been productive, but lacking that extra veteran edge since Cooper's departure. For context, Cooper was traded to the Browns in 2022, a move driven largely by salary cap considerations, rather than any drop in talent or production. Despite a fairly successful run with the Cleveland Browns, including multiple 1,000-yard seasons, Cooper never seemed to find the same synergy he had in Dallas. Now, with Dallas bringing him back on what's rumored to be a substantial 4-year contract, the front office is making a definitive statement that they believe this team is in win-now mode, and they believe Cooper can be a key piece in making a deep playoff run possible. This move comes at a critical time for the Cowboys. With Prescott entering another season under heavy scrutiny, the offense needing a stronger identity, and the pressure to finally advance beyond the divisional round of the playoffs. Adding a known commodity like Cooper makes football sense and emotional sense. Cooper knows the system, knows Prescott, and knows what it means to be a Cowboy. That kind of familiarity doesn't come with just any free agent. It's rare that a player of Cooper's caliber, who already has an established connection with the franchise quarterback, can be brought in without the typical adjustment period. This minimizes risk and maximizes potential production. It also takes some pressure off CeeDee Lamb, who has emerged as one of the most electric receivers in the NFL, but has had to shoulder much of the load in the receiving corps. With Cooper returning, Lamb won't face constant double coverage, and defenses won't be able to key in on just one primary target. Add in the developing talents of younger players like Jalen Tolbert, and possibly a revamped tight end room, and suddenly the Cowboys' offense looks deeper and more versatile than it has in years. For Amari Cooper, this deal might be less about money, though he's reportedly receiving a handsome payday, and more about opportunity. He returns to a team where he already knows the playbook, already has chemistry with the quarterback, and already understands the expectations of being a Dallas Cowboy. That's not something you can replicate anywhere else. And given that he's still under 32 and hasn't shown significant signs of physical decline, this may be the perfect situation for him to put up strong numbers and potentially finish his career where he found his greatest individual success. Let's not forget, this is a receiver who once torched the Eagles for over 200 yards in a single game, who turned third downs into first downs with his elite route running, and who always seemed to show up when the Cowboys needed a spark. His smooth, technical style of play never relied purely on speed, meaning he has a skill set that should age well, especially in an offense that doesn't need him to be the WR1 every snap, but does need him to win key matchups and keep chains moving. From a locker room standpoint, Cooper's return could have a stabilizing effect. This is a team that's gone through offensive coordinator changes, a revolving door of WR2 options, and inconsistent performances in the postseason. Bringing in a calm, experienced, reliable presence like Cooper could help the team stay focused when things get tough. He's not a diva. He's not known for off-field drama. He shows up, does his job, and plays smart football. That's the kind of veteran leadership that doesn't just help in the stat sheet, it shows up in practice habits, game preparation, and mentoring young guys. And while his voice isn't loud, his work ethic speaks volumes. For the Cowboys front office, this deal also offers an intriguing balance between risk and reward. If the reported 4-year deal is structured with flexibility, such as lower guaranteed money in the later years, or performance-based incentives, it gives Dallas an escape hatch if things don't go as planned. But if it works, if Cooper can stay healthy and produce at even 80% of his peak levels, this becomes one of the savviest free agent moves of the offseason. There's also the emotional narrative here that makes this story compelling. When Cooper was traded, many fans were disappointed but understood the cap-driven logic. Still, his absence was felt, especially in critical moments when the offense sputtered without a consistent second option in the passing game. Now, his return feels almost poetic, a second chance to finish what he started, and perhaps to help guide this team where it hasn't been since the '90s, back to the Super Bowl. For Dak Prescott, this is a massive win. Say what you will about his inconsistencies, but his best years have come when he had a full arsenal of trusted weapons. Cooper was a security blanket for him in third-down situations and red zone mismatches. Having that connection again not only gives Dak more confidence, but also gives head coach Mike McCarthy more flexibility in his play calling. Expect more pre-snap motion, more 2WR sets that challenge opposing secondaries, and more plays designed to exploit mismatches created by Cooper's precision and CeeDee Lamb's explosiveness. It also can't be overlooked how much this affects opposing defenses. With Cooper on the field, teams can't just bracket Lamb or focus on stopping Tony Pollard out of the backfield. They have to respect the outside threat, the back shoulder throws, the sideline toe taps, and the ability to run the full route tree. That stretches the field, opens up the middle, and gives the Cowboys more options on every down. Meanwhile, in the broader NFL context, this deal could have ripple effects for the receiver market. Cooper's return to a former team, especially on a long-term deal, might encourage other franchises to revisit relationships with past players who still have gas in the tank. We've seen veterans bounce around, but not always return to where they had the most impact. If Cooper succeeds, it might reshape how GMs view value Vs. Familiarity. It also raises the bar for other teams in the NFC East. The Eagles already boast a high-powered passing attack. The Commanders are in rebuild mode. The Giants, well, they need weapons desperately. The Cowboys just made a move that puts pressure on those teams to upgrade their secondaries and rethink how they defend Dallas. In short, this isn't just a nostalgic feel-good story. It's a strategic move that could have real implications for playoff seeding, division titles, and postseason success. But let's not get too far ahead. There's still the question of durability. Cooper has had his share of soft tissue injuries, and while he's managed to stay relatively healthy, any long-term investment in a player nearing his 30s carries some risk. That's why the specifics of the contract matter. If the Cowboys structured it with an out after 2 seasons or made the 3rd and 4th years option-based, it reduces the long-term liability. Another factor to consider is how this impacts younger players. Does this stunt the growth of rising stars who might now see fewer snaps or targets? Possibly, but the counterargument is that competition brings out the best. If anything, Cooper's presence should raise the standard in that receiver room. And if younger guys like Tolbert or Fehoko or even a rookie step up, it just gives the Cowboys even more firepower. In closing, Amari Cooper's return to the Dallas Cowboys is one of the most intriguing developments of the 2025 offseason. It checks so many boxes: production, familiarity, leadership, need, and timing. It's a deal that reaffirms the Cowboys' commitment to surrounding their quarterback with elite weapons, that signals to the rest of the league they're not content with early playoff exits, and that gives one of the league's most gifted receivers a shot at redemption and perhaps even championship glory. Whether you love or hate the Cowboys, one thing is clear: they just got a lot more dangerous, and the story of Amari Cooper in Dallas isn't over yet. In fact, it might just be entering its best chapter yet.